Thank you, Ms. Fore. Page 63, discuss consolidated concealed weapons permit fee. I've gotten some input from some members who think $50 is too much in accordance with the Second Amendment, right to bear and carry arms. I think there's a nationwide effort to do away with concealed weapons permits, but anyway, I asked Mr. Witt to put this on the agenda. We charge $50. Some localities charge $15. Yeah. If you look on page 63, $15 that goes to the state, and what they do, it goes to the state police, and the rest of it comes back to the county. And basically, I don't think there's any background check done on anybody.
It's supposed to be.
Yes.
Who does it?
The sheriff's office.
They do it?
Yeah.
Okay,
Police do.
I take that back then, because I never had anybody contact me, so I guess they don't talk to the individual.
They get the application from the court. And
Okay.
Run it.
So they don't say anything to the applicant at all?
I don't know.
Okay.
They drop it off at the clerk's office, and we get
Okay.
paper to run the
All right.
background investigation.
I guess the reason I said that because I had a DOD clearance, and then part of my background investigation, investigating and talked to me, so I made the same assumption that I was wrong in that assumption there. But anyway, that's, if you look, like I said, Campbell County charges $15, Mecklenburg 50, Meade 15, City of Lynchburg 50, Cumberland County, Pennsylvania County 50 respectively. Prince Edward's 50, Lunenburg's 15, Appomattox is 50, Dinwiddie and Halifax is 50 respectively. So,
Mr.
Looks like
Chairman.
we've kind of in the sweet spot, Mr. Chairman. It does have some expense barrier to it with the background check. I would think it'd be worth to most people have to pay $50 to have a right to carry, but whatever's the pleasure of the board. It looks like with the other counties, we're kind of in line.
Mr. Chairman.
yes, ma'am.
Citizen Henry Hughes had sent an email out to all of us, and then and I replied back to him. I think Mrs. Fore did too, maybe others. He had sent me an email last night, and he asked that I read this. He said, if I may, there are counties that are beginning to lower their CHP fee to the state mandated minimum of $15. I'm sure some of you thought the $50 fee is for the permit and background check, as I did also. Hearing about the counties lowering their fee got me to do some research. What I have found is the court system gets $10 and the state police gets $5 for the background check. This leaves the county with a $35 profit, which according to, and he says Mr. Butch Hamlett, goes to the general fund. I really don't think our founding fathers wanted anyone to profit from a constitutional right such as the Second Amendment. I don't like the idea of paying $15 for a constitutional right, but to tax it, which is what the extra $35 does, no matter how you look at it, is unconstitutional. Members of the board need to do what is right and lower the fee to $15. With the 20% tax increase, I hope you can see that give citizens a break by supporting this reduction. I went then online and looked. I saw what Mr. Witt had put here. So out of 122 localities, that includes some cities, 50 out of 122, 50 have some fee less than $50. And so I gave it a lot of thought, and I believe that we should lower it. It is a constitutional right to bear arms, and if they want to exercise that right, I think it's fair that we charge for actual fee, the $5 fee, the $10 to the state police, the $10 fee to the clerk. But shouldn't our department, this citizen is using a service that we provide by the government, by our county, just like maybe this person never goes to a landfill, or maybe he doesn't have a child in school. His tax dollars are going for that. So I believe that we should lower it, and I would make a motion that we lower it to $15 and ask all of my board members to please carefully think about, this is just a service that we should be providing to citizens, and just cover the fees.
Second the motion. For.
Any further discussion?
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Walker?
I'm not sure what Mr. Freeman had to step out of the room. Could we postpone the vote to give him a
He's
chance?
back.
Okay, I don't know what his opinion is, but I thought he ought to be here.
All right, any other discussion? Motion made by Ms. Pierantoni, second by Ms. Fore, to reduce the fee from $50 to what?
15.
$50 to $15.
Suggest we do a roll call vote?
I don't think a roll call is necessary at this time.
Okay.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed?
No.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. Can we redo the aye
Okay.
vote? I apologize. Can we redo the aye vote?
And may I,
Okay. Roll call vote it is.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ms. Pierantoni,
Actually, Katie.
yes,
you made a motion. Roll call vote to reduce the fee.
aye.
Ms. Fore,
Aye.
Mr. Walker,
No.
Mr. Freeman,
No.
Mr. Shook.
No.
And I vote aye. It's a tie vote, so the motion doesn't carry.
Well, Mr. Chairman, so this is one of those things that I really think that we need to have a discussion, because I understand that perhaps legally, I mean, this is the money that goes to the sheriff's department. So I really question, and if it's not illegal for Mr. Freeman to vote, I really think, again, what we've discussed, and I've spoken to him about personally, about in our manual, following a higher standard. And I think this certainly goes to it, because that extra $35 that we're talking about charging citizens is going to the sheriff's department, of which Mr. Freeman is an employee. I do not believe he should be voting on this. So I would ask him to reconsider and abstain from his vote. And I'll make the motion another time.
Don't it go to the general fund?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead, Mr. Shook.
That's my question. I didn't know it goes to the sheriff. I thought it went to the
I
general
thought it was
fund.
general fund, too.
So how's the sheriff's department benefit any more than the rest of the citizens
Well,
of
I
Charlotte County?
don't know. I just made the assumption it went to the general fund.
Sounds like it's an assumption, not a fact.
I'm looking at the.
So now we don't know where the money's going.
It should be going to the
Great.
fund.
So we made a vote on some without having all the facts.
Oh, man, that's
According to the
incorrect.
state code, the court shall charge a fee of $10 for processing an application and issuing a permit. Both law enforcement agencies may charge a fee not to exceed $35 to cover cost of conducting an investigation pursuant to this code section. State police may charge a fee not to exceed $5 to cover the cost associated with processing the application.
I think we know where the $35 is going.
So the act states that its purpose is to promote confidence and trust in public officials. The act establishes a minimum set of standards, and the minimum standards of behavior set forth in the act do not prevent a board member from following higher standards in order to avoid the appearance of a conflict. I'm going to make my motion another time that we lower the fee to 15
Okay.
and ask for another vote.
All right.
Wait, we're doing what now? Re-voting on some of this?
No, we're not. It didn't pass, the tie vote.
Okay.
And it cannot be put up for another vote? It can't be put up?
I think under Robert's Rules of Order, a member of the board who voted on the prevailing side can make a motion to reconsider. The prevailing side would be those who voted no because the motion was defeated. So I think that's the correct procedure.
So I would appeal to my board member, Mr. Freeman, to go to the higher standards and make a motion that we put it back up for a vote, since he voted no.
Mr. Chairman,
Go ahead, Mr. Walker.
we were ahead of schedule earlier when the thing about the baseball teams came up, and they are here, and I know Ms. Pillow.
Mr. Walker, let's get this issue.
Let's resolve this first.
This ain't on the agenda, Mr. Chairman.
I know, but
Yes, it
this
is very much on the agenda.
concealed weapons, where it is.
Yes, it is.
Well, that's been resolved.
No, it is not.
Not yet.
No,
Not
sir, it
yet.
has not.
Did you finish, Ms. Pierantoni?
Mr. Freeman, I'm waiting for his response.
I'm gonna vote on it. And I vote no.
Mr. Chairman, I asked the question again. Does this money go to the sheriff or goes to the general fund or?
I do not know. I assume it goes to general fund.
Let me get with my finance director, and I will get an answer for that question.
Okay. Is that okay, Ms. Pierantoni?
Well, then I think we need to delay this until we have an answer on that.
Well, it could be brought up again at another month.
Then I recommend we put it back on the agenda for August, and that
Okay.
Mr. Witt provide that information as to where these funds are going. It's an interesting, convenient amount that the $35 that's remaining matches the amount that is probably going to the sheriff's department.
Okay. Mr. Walker?